iron. 2. Sulfate. Sulfate, or ferrous sulfate, is the chemical compound with the formula Fe-SO4. It is used medically to treat iron deficiency, and also for industrial applications. Known since ancient times as copperas and as green vitriol, the blue-green heptahydrate is the most common form of this material. All iron sulfates dissolve in water to give the same aquo complex, Fe, H2O, 6, 2+, which is octahedral molecular geometry and is paramagnetic. Hydrates. Iron. 2. Sulfate can be found in various states of hydration, and several of these forms exist in nature. Fe-SO4 H2O, Fe-SO4 4 hours 2O, Fe-SO4 5 hours 2O, Fe-SO4 6 hours 2O, Fe-SO4 7 hours 2O. The heptahydrate in solution transforms to both heptahydrate and tetrahydrate when the temperature reaches 56.6 AA degrees Celsius. Then at 64.8 AA degrees Celsius they form both tetrahydrate and monohydrate. All mentioned mineral forms are connected with oxidation zones of Fe-bearing ore beds and related environments. Many undergo rapid dehydration and sometimes oxidation. Production and reactions. In the finishing of steel prior to plating or coating, the steel sheet or rod is passed through pickling baths of sulfuric acid. This treatment produces large quantities of iron. 2. Sulfate as a byproduct. Fe plus H2SO4 of Fe-SO4 plus H2. Another source of large amounts results from the production of titanium dioxide from ilmenite via the sulfate process. Ferrous sulfate is also prepared commercially by oxidation of pyrite. 2 Fe-S2 plus 7O2 plus 2 hours 2O8 Fe-SO4 plus 2 hours 2SO4. Reactions. On heating, iron. 2. Sulfate first loses its water of crystallization and the original green crystals are converted into a brown-colored anhydrous solid. When further heated, the anhydrous material releases sulfur dioxide and white fumes of sulfur trioxide, leaving a reddish-brown iron. 3. Oxide. Decomposition of iron. 2. Sulfate begins at about 680 AA degrees Celsius. 2 Fe-SO4 of Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3, like all iron. 2. Salts. Iron. 2. Sulfate is a reducing agent. For example, it reduces nitric acid to nitrogen oxide and chlorine to chloride. 6 Fe-SO4 plus 3 hours 2 SO4 plus 2 HNO3 a 3 Fe2, SO4. 3 plus 4 hours 2O plus 2NO, 6 Fe-SO4 plus 3 centiliters to a 2 Fe2, SO4, 3 plus 2 Fe-Cl3. Upon exposure to air, it oxidizes to form a corrosive brown-yellow coating of basic ferric sulfate, which is an adduct of ferric oxide and ferric sulfate. 12 Fe-SO4 plus 3O2 of 4 Fe2, SO4, 3 plus 2 Fe2O3, uses, industrially, ferrous sulfate is mainly used as a precursor to other iron compounds. It is a reducing agent, mostly for the reduction of chromate in cement. Nutritional supplement. Together with other iron compounds, ferrous sulfate is used to fortify foods and to treat iron deficiency anemia. Constipation is a frequent and uncomfortable side effect associated with the administration of oral iron supplements. Stool softeners often are prescribed to prevent constipation. Colorant. Ferrous sulfate was used in the manufacture of inks, most notably iron gall ink, which was used from the Middle Ages until the end of the 18th century. Chemical tests made on the lattice letters, circa 588/6 BCE showed the possible presence of iron. It is thought that oak galls and copperas may have been used in making the ink on those letters. It also finds use in wool dyeing as a mordant. Harewood, a material used in marquetry and parquetry since the 17th century, is also made using ferrous sulfate. Two different methods for the direct application of indigo dye were developed in England in the 18th century and remained in use well into the 19th century. One of these, known as China blue, involved iron, 2, sulfate. After printing an insoluble form of indigo onto the fabric, the indigo was reduced to leuco-indigo in a sequence of baths of ferrous sulfate. The China blue process could make sharp designs, but it could not produce the dark hues of other methods. Sometimes, It is included in canned black olives as an artificial colorant. Ferrous sulfate can also be used to stain concrete and some limestones and sandstones a yellowish rust color. Woodworkers use ferrous sulfate solutions to color maple wood a silvery hue. Other uses: in horticulture it is used for treating iron chlorosis. Although not as rapid-acting as iron chelate, its effects are longer-lasting. It can be mixed with compost and dug into the soil to create a store which can last for years. It is also used as a lawn conditioner, and moss killer. In the second half of the 19th century, ferrous sulfate was also used as a photographic developer for collodion process images. Ferrous sulfate is sometimes added to the cooling water flowing through the brass tubes of a turbine condenser. It forms a corrosion-resistant, protective coating on the inside of the tube. It is used as a gold refining chemical to precipitate metallic gold from auric chloride solutions. It has been applied for the purification of water by flocculation and for phosphate removal in municipal and industrial sewage treatment plants to prevent eutrophication of surface water bodies. It is used as a traditional method of treating wood panel on houses either alone, dissolved in water, or as a component of water-based paint. Green vitriol is also a useful reagent in the identification of mushrooms. See also, iron, sulfate, the other common simple sulfate of iron. Mousse salt sulfate, a common double salt of ammonium sulfate with iron, sulfate. References. External links.